I'm Jennifer Shen. I'm a product manager on the G Suite team. I'm joined today by my colleague, Vishnu Sivaji.
Hi everyone, excited to be here. I'm a product manager on the G Suite editors team based out of New York.
Today, we're going to give you a behind the scenes look at how intelligence and assistance powers G Suite. G Suite is more than just a collection of communication and collaboration tools. The intelligence and assistance built into Google products makes them more helpful and easy to use. But before we dive in, I strongly suggest you first watch the G Suite Solutions keynote to get an overview of how G Suite connects teams to the people and content they need to get work done faster. Then come back to the session. You can see the session ID on the slide here. Now, onto the session. We know that countless hours are wasted every day by information workers doing mundane tasks that distract and take time away from the creative knowledge work where they can uniquely add value. In 2019, we commissioned a total economic impact analysis with Forrester Research. And based upon a number of interviews with our customers, we have learned that G Suite is delivering value in 4 key ways: revenue growth, employee efficiency, risk mitigation, and IT cost savings. The numbers you see here are all based on a composite customer with 20,000 users generating $3 billion a year in revenue. For highly collaborative employees, the time savings on mundane tasks with G Suite is huge, almost an extra month's worth of time every year, with 20% of that time reallocated towards value-added tasks that are important to your business. This session will showcase how G Suite can help with employee efficiency, saving people time, boosting productivity, and reducing context switching and frustration. We'll give you a behind-the-scenes look at the intelligence and assistance that powers G Suite and showcase features that you should be using in your everyday work to realize these potential gains. For the rest of the session, we'll use a common workflow as a framework to dive into the details for how G Suite is more helpful and can help teams work better together. As a product manager, my work is highly collaborative. I spend a ton of time with team members and partners connecting on key project initiatives, goals, status, and more. But this collaboration happens more than just through face-to-face meetings. The creation process is a mix of coming together and dividing and conquering. So teams need tools that support the various stages of the creation process. For my team, we also spend time finding and gathering critical information and co-creating docs, slides, and sheets together. G Suite makes this entire process faster and easier. Modern work is more and more collaborative and not siloed. Our research shows that 2/3 of work tasks involve interacting with a colleague. While a lot of that collaboration happens asynchronously through comments and co-authoring of content, a lot happens through in-person communication, both informal and meetings. However, research shows that 40% of meetings are considered ineffective due to poor audio and video or poor organization. And tons of time is wasted in even scheduling meetings in the first place. So how does the intelligence in Meet help to make your meetings even better? It starts with scheduling. Google Calendar automatically suggests conference rooms and times to meet, optimized for each individual meeting. The best conference rooms are intelligently suggested based on locations where the attendees are based, your past preferred rooms, the number of guests and how big the room needs to be, and the required conferencing equipment, for instance, VC enabled, Jamboard, etc. Then, once it's time for the meeting, you can seamlessly start a meeting with Hey Google Voice Control in the meeting room just by using voice. Hey Google Voice Control also increases accessibility in the meeting room. People can say, Hey Google, turn on spoken feedback to use accessibility features without having to find the button to turn them on. We launched this feature in beta last November for ASUS as Hangouts meet hardware with the Google Assistant. And we have received great customer feedback about how easy it is to join a meeting, exit a meeting, or dial a phone number, all hands-free. Not only is it super easy, this touch-free capability is also more sanitary, which is an important consideration in current times as companies are planning their returns back to the office. I'm pleased to announce that this feature is also coming to Logitech Hangouts Meet hardware. General availability for both hardware configurations will be rolling out to all G Suite domains. Speaking of accessibility, our live captions feature, powered by Google's advanced speech recognition technology, helps to create more inclusive meetings so that everyone can participate. Particularly with diverse, globally distributed teams, the little things you do to ensure everyone is included can make the difference between a high performing team and a divided one. This is especially important in times when remote work is so common. Live captions use Google's AI to do speech to text and show real time captions for your meetings. For non native speakers, hearing impaired participants, or just noisy environments, live captions makes it easy for everyone to follow along. Today, this feature is available only in English, but in the coming months, we'll be adding more languages to bring this functionality to even more people. Me also leverages machine learning to enable the highest quality audio and video experience. In large meetings, it can be hard to follow the conversation. Meet's adaptive layout functionality detects who's talking and highlights that person so others can see their camera and presentation on the screen. In the meeting room, Meet automatically detects who's talking and zooms in on them to help others focus. Meet is also resilient in variable bandwidth environments and adjusts to your network speed. And Meet uses edge computing for audio processing for enhanced noise cancellation, like loud typers, and to reduce echo to limit meeting distractions. Low light mode adjusts for suboptimal lighting, so you can have a high quality video call wherever you are. Here are a few demo videos to show these features in action.
Hey, I'm boarding in a minute. Sorry, it's kind of loud here. Hey, I'm boarding in a minute, but let's dive in real quick. Thanks for meeting so late. Can you see me okay? Hey, thanks for meeting me so late. I wanted to catch you before your presentation.
All of these features make for a higher quality meeting, which is even more important right now as remote work is exploding. Millions of people turn to Google Assistant, make Google do it in their personal life. Last November, we announced the beta for G Suite and the Google Assistant, allowing people to use the Assistant in their professional lives as well. With this beta, you can use the Google Assistant to manage your calendar while on the move. You can ask the Assistant to read your calendar, create events, cancel events, or even reschedule events. Beyond managing your calendar, we know that sometimes you just need to send messages or join calls on the go. You can say things like, "Hey Google, join my next meeting," or "Hey Google, send an email to my next meeting." This hands-free calendar and meeting management is great for on the go or if you're commuting. In this current environment, we know that many people may not be doing so and are working from home. So these specific features may not be very useful on your mobile phone. We are committed to growing this feature set, and today I'm pleased to announce another new feature as part of this beta program. Soon, you can use the Google Assistant to join Meet meetings on your Nest Hub Max. During this extended work from home period, I've actually purchased an extra Nest Hub Max just for my home office. I love being able to have a dedicated video screen that I can use to join calls while still being able to use my laptop to take notes. In fact, I am filming this segment on my Nest right now. You can sign up for the Google Assistant and G Suite beta program today. If you're already in the beta, this feature will be rolling out to your domain soon. Since January, we've seen Meet's peak daily usage grow by 30x. Meet is hosting 3 billion minutes of video meetings and adding roughly 3 million new users every day, with more than 100 million daily meeting participants. I hope that you and all of our meeting participants have been able to experience some of these magical features and that they have been able to meaningfully improve your collaboration. Give some of these features a try if you haven't already. Switching gears a little, before I started using G Suite, I was a very active filer and organizer, and I used my inbox as a to-do list. I carefully put all my files and emails into folders and bookmarked and starred important items. In fact, one of the most tedious hacks I had was I would CC copy myself on every single email so that my sent messages would show up in my inbox. Once the recipient replied and the task was completed, that's when I would move the message out of my inbox into a folder. Can you imagine the amount of wasted time and effort spent just organizing information instead of actually doing the creative work that my job required. When I started using G Suite, it was a game changer. I realized I didn't need to waste hours each week organizing emails and file folders because Gmail and Drive were surfacing the right information right when I needed it. With G Suite, the powerful search and assistance features are working in the background to give me more time back for actual work. When you need to find anything in G Suite, you can count on the built-in search powered by world-class Google search technology. We knew how frustrating it can be when you see search results that are not familiar or relevant. In G Suite, each user has an affinity graph based on interactions, and we utilize this affinity graph and the specific context when you are searching to deliver relevant search results. For example, suppose you search for trip and you are planning a trip and writing emails about a work trip to New York. Your coworker, who you interact with a lot, has recently shared a document related to a New York trip with you. All these factors would rank this document very high in the search results. G Suite uses deep learning over a large number of query, document, user context, and user interaction signals to learn these behaviors and utilizes them for results ranking. We also help you autocomplete names and email addresses from your contacts as you type, since we know many people search by sender or recipient. The new search tips in Gmail also automatically populates when relevant, like the from filter chip when we understand that it's a name or an email address. And G Suite Search learns from domain-specific spelling, synonyms, and language used within your organization to provide a tailored search experience. All of this powerful search is available through a variety of our products, Gmail, Drive, and even integrated directly into Chrome's search bar. Now, there are times when you don't want to spend time searching. In G Suite, we also have features that bring the right information to you at the right time without you needing to take any action. Priority notifications on your mobile phone and Priority Inbox help you separate the signal from noise by showing you the most important communications. The intelligence that powers this feature is personalized and trained over time from each person's preferences and habits. That means that your Gmail inbox is uniquely yours and is adapted to how you want to work. Have you ever sent an email only to realize weeks later the recipient never responded? Or maybe you received an email and forgot to mark it as unread and forgot to respond. You're not alone. Thankfully, with nudges in Gmail, you have a little helper reminding you. The feature is tuned to only messages that have asks or action items in them. Personally, every time one of these little nudges pop up, I'm always delighted and breathe a sigh of relief that G Suite has my back and is making sure I'm not dropping the ball on anything. In Drive, the Drive priority page and quick access features use machine learning to predict the most relevant and important files for you at any given moment. Google AI assembles a working set of files and creates a focused, intuitive workspace for you. These workspaces are created based on a variety of personalized signals, like key collaborators, email, chat, sharing, and content topicality. Priority files at your fingertips in Drive cuts finding time by 50% and helps you stay informed and focused. When so much of work is based on your ability to find key information, this time saving is huge and meaningfully impactful across the workday, week, and year. Finally, we know that you use more than just G Suite to get things done. With Cloud Search, you can use Google-grade search within any of your other business systems. You can quickly, easily, and securely find information across your business by connecting all the data sources and content management systems that you use. We've recently added wildcards, perhaps synonyms, and supplemental results to make the search even more powerful. All right, now that we've talked about all the great ways G Suite can help you connect better with others and find critical information, we'll transition into the next part of the workflow, doing something with that information. Vishnu will now talk about how G Suite helps you create better content and make better decisions.
Thanks, Shen. One of the reasons why G Suite is able to deliver real transformation to businesses is that it's simple to use and easy to adopt. G Suite and its products were born in the cloud and built for the cloud, which means real-time collaboration is effortless. This is why more than 1 billion people rely on G Suite apps like Docs, Sheets, Slides, Forms, and many more in their personal lives. Instead of defaulting to old habits like saving content on your desktop, G Suite saves your work securely in the cloud and provides means for teams to push the boundaries of what they can create. In fact, a majority of the time spent in doc sheets and slides is on collaborative work. That is, multiple people creating, editing, viewing on content together. And this is a stark difference from what businesses see with legacy tools, where the work is often done individually on a desktop client. Let's focus on one component of this collaborative work, which is writing. Writing is a core activity. We put words on paper to refine our own thinking, but also to communicate with others. And yet, this process requires a ton of effort and is also error prone. One specific example of writing is one we do probably every day and maybe even every hour: email. Emails are a huge time sink for individuals and organizations. Knowledge workers spend about a third of their day in email, and that's more than 650 hours a year. G Suite is focused on using AI to improve how customers write by both reducing the effort required to get words on paper and by enhancing the quality of your resulting output. We started on this journey with a feature called Smart Reply. And this is a feature that now contributes more than 10% of all replies from mobile and allows you to get started on that quick response to an email. We then introduced Smart Compose, which now saves everyone 3 billion characters a week that they didn't have to type in Gmail. Smart Compose is intelligent autocomplete for writing. It can fill in greetings, sign-offs, and common phrases. But it can also learn from the context of email and make more nuanced recommendations. For example, if you're writing an email about office supplies and have mentioned a printer, it might also suggest paper and ink. It will also get better over time. It learns your colleagues' names, your favorite phrases, and specific jargon to make sure that when Smart Compose helps you write, you still sound like yourself. And it all sounds like magic, but Smart Compose works. In our test groups, over 4 out of 5 people agree that Smart Compose makes writing less effortful. And this year, we introduced Smart Compose in Google Docs. It not only makes writing faster, but improves quality by removing spelling and grammatical errors and helping you complete legible sentences from a raw thought. It's like a personal writing assistant, and you choose when to listen to the feedback. I want to take a moment to talk a little bit about what powers Smart Compose. We use something known as tensor processing units, or TPUs, that's specifically tailored to machine learning applications. This is a technology that only Google can deliver, and we built on many years of leading the industry in machine learning products, and Smart Compose runs on these specialized processing units. They allow us to use more sophisticated and more powerful machine learning models and apply these models quickly so that users get these intelligence results more rapidly. Let me show you a little bit of what this means. Initially, even after training our faster hybrid models, we noticed that Smart Compose running on a standard CPU had a latency of about hundreds of milliseconds. And this is unacceptable for a feature that's trying to save users time, because it's often faster to type than to wait for a Smart Compose suggestion. Fortunately, we switched over to using TPUs at inference time, which means that we use TPUs to show suggestions to the users. And by making this transition, we were able to reduce the latency to tens of milliseconds, while greatly increasing the number of requests that could be served by a single machine. And this keeps quality high. Finally, we were able to switch over to the latest version of TPUs, leading to a buttery smooth 40 milliseconds latency for Smart Compose suggestions, which is great. This now means that the feature is useful no matter how fast you're typing in products like Docs or Gmail. Let's talk about the journey of writing in correct language. If you're working against deadlines to create documents, having to correct grammar and spelling is probably not the first thing on your mind. Unfortunately, we found that correcting spelling and grammar is actually a very frequent and important user need. It's something that's performed manually by a majority of our users before we actually started introducing some of our assistive capabilities into Docs. We started with spelling correction, and over the past year, we brought machine translation-powered grammar correction to Google Docs. We work closely with linguists to decipher the rules for machine translation and use this as a foundation of our automatic suggestions in Docs, all powered by AI. And as you see on the next slide, we now surface over 2 billion intelligent grammar suggestions each month. We've also started powering these suggestions with cutting-edge neural technology. On the next slide, you see examples of some of the corrections that our model can now correct versus the previous models that were not neural powered. And what this really means to end users is that we are now able to correct many, many more grammar errors than before at the high rate of quality that we maintain. And specifically, we're now able to correct more than 50% of grammar corrections versus before. We've also tried to make the journey of correcting language more seamless to the point where you don't even need to click on corrections. So we've now introduced spelling autocorrect, where for some common spelling mistakes, we've added as you type autocorrection. And as you can see in this mock, the user doesn't even need to pause to interact with an underline. We just go ahead and correct that for you. Based on so much positive feedback from these initial experiences, we're excited to announce that we're now going to be enabling access to these features for more languages. And this is a critical next step for us to address. More than 80% of the world's population does not speak English as a native language. And so we're starting this journey by introducing Smart Compose and grammar correction to users who are writing in Spanish. And this represents an important milestone for Google Docs, because we're able to keep the same quality and the same low latency for these features as we scale to more languages. This was a challenging project for us for many reasons. On the next slide, you'll see a visual for the latency that we saw with the initial version of these features. If you were a user who was based out of New York and you traveled to Spain or India, what you would see is that the features would now be slower because we were actually serving these intelligent suggestions from our servers based in the US. And this unfortunately was not acceptable. As a user, if you're traveling for work or if you're actually based in these countries, it doesn't really matter. You want to have the same high quality user experience. And so what we've been able to do is spin up new machine learning servers all over the world. And this allows us to power these machine learning powered features such as Smart Compose and grammar correction at high quality and low latency, no matter where you're physically located in the world. All right, let's switch to another critical journey, analyzing data. Companies today maintain huge repositories of data, but unfortunately, few can take full advantage of this information. Whether it's due to fragmentation of data sources, the disconnect between insights and end user work, or the lack of analytical capabilities and tools, this robust data is not used to its full potential. And so we've been focused on making it easier for you and your teams to go straight from data to decisions. We want you to move past concepts like tables, columns, formulas, and go straight to analysis, insights, and business recommendations. Since its launch in 2008, more than 1 billion questions have been asked in Google Forms. And we're now able to identify common patterns like question types and actually suggest response options using the help of neural networks. And so as you can see here, we're now able to predict the type of question you're asking and suggest potential responses for you to choose from, giving you back about 25% of the time you used to spend creating a form. And so now it's much more seamless to go ahead and collect raw data that you can now analyze. To help you actually analyze this raw data, we're introducing cleanup suggestions in Google Sheets. Going forward, when you import a file such as CSV or TSV, if we identify suggestions, the side panel will automatically open with a set of cleanup tasks that you may want to take on, such as identifying and removing duplicates, easily applying number formatting to data, or identifying outliers. We're also making it easier for you to automate data entry with SmartFill in Google Sheets. SmartFill is like Smart Compose, but for structured data. It can go ahead and just autocomplete your data for you. It can detect patterns between columns and initially autocomplete data for you, even if we have to use complicated formulas like VLOOKUP. And where possible, we're going to actually populate these autocomplete suggestions with real formulas from Sheets, which allow you, the user, to verify the output and actually learn how to construct these formulas going forward. We're also able to leverage Google's Knowledge Graph to power more intelligent suggestion. So for example, if we're able to detect a set of locations and a set of airport codes, we're actually able to go ahead and autocomplete columns such as state and country, all powered by Google's Knowledge Graph. We will also be able to leverage your company's specific knowledge graph to populate things like your colleague's email address if we have a list of first names and last names. Finally, formula suggestions can help you speed up your analysis. Remembering function names and entering ranges cause a big slowdown in formula entry. And so when Sheets has high confidence, we're able to suggest what you may want to type, even if it's a very complex formula. And we found that these suggestions can make formula entry 5 times faster than having to do this all manually. I want to now close this session by bringing these capabilities back to our mission as a company and how we've changed how we execute against this mission. Our mission is unchanged. It's to make information universally accessible and useful to you and your company. But we're no longer a company that just helps you find answers. Today, Google products help you get stuff done, whether it's finding the right words with Smart Compose in Gmail or having more effective and inclusive meetings. Simply put, our vision is to build a more helpful Google for everyone, no matter who you are, where you live, or what you're hoping to accomplish. And when we say helpful, we mean giving you, your team, your company, the tools to increase your knowledge and success. And so the opportunity with G Suite is incredible. It's to deliver knowledge to the right person at the right time. And think about the opportunity. Every time you start a new project, you benefit from all the prior art across all of the divisions of your company, regardless of where this knowledge is locked up, whether it's in a document or an email. Whenever you go to a meeting, you're automatically briefed in advance with everything you need to know. And you have all the tools to stay engaged with the discussion. Every time one of your teammates on a project writes a document or email, the system helps you stay focused and on topic. And this is our vision with Search and AI in G Suite to provide a more helpful G Suite for you and your teams. To quickly recap what we talked about today, Jen showed you how the Google Assistant now works with G Suite to cover several of your cross product workflows. Jen also talked about how you can find information with intelligent features in Gmail, Drive, as well as G Suite Search. She also showed you how you can have more productive remote meetings with new capabilities in Meet. And finally, I talked about how you can create with assistants with powerful capabilities such as Smart Compose and Smart Fill. In true Google fashion, these capabilities are all deceptively simple to use and easy to adopt. And that's a good thing. Under the hood, it's a powerful machine learning system that takes advantage of all the Google technology you've heard about across this entire conference. Next, if you're already a G Suite customer, you can start using several of these capabilities today. If you'd like to try out the latest with the Google Assistant, please sign up for our beta. If you're not already a G Suite customer, please include us in our next RFP for communication, collaboration, or storage tools. You can learn more about our remote work toolkit and contact our sales team for more information. I'd like to close with a quote from one of our customers that's been through this digital transformation with G Suite, ATB Financial. Barry Hench, Senior VP of Technology at ATB, had this to say: Google is revolutionizing collaboration and individual productivity through AI. Employees can focus more on creating value for our customers and less on mundane tasks. And with that, I'd like to close out this session. Thank you.